Welcome everyone back to another video. This past week I had the unique opportunity to visit the Yorkdale Mall in Toronto where they had the Lucid store. I got to take a look at their production or pre-production car that they had in their kind of mini dealership where I could actually sit in the car. I did not get to drive it, so this will be my overall first impressions of just the vehicle as is without having driven it before. So to begin, a little bit of background on where exactly Lucid came from. So it was founded in 2007 by Peter Rawlinson, who formerly served as a VP of engineering and chief engineer on the Tesla Model S. So you can see how naturally people will make the comparison, as now the chief of engineering is now the owner of his own company who also does electric vehicles. They're going to compete. This car is definitely no joke when it comes to speed. It ranges from its base 480 horsepower all the way up to 1,111 horsepower, which is absolutely insane. At its top speed, at its most fastest, this thing can reach 100 kilometers per hour in 2.7 or 2.9 seconds. So taking this thing around the track and pushing it to the absolute limit, you would need a neck brace afterwards if you're just a normal human being like myself. You're definitely going to pay the price for all of that performance. At its top model, we have it at $230,000 Canadian, and at its lowest, we have it at $122,000 Canadian. It's very high, but we also saw Tesla do this exact same thing with its first Model S. Again, maybe it wasn't as high, but I feel like Lucid is kind of starting the game with a leg up in the performance area, as like we just mentioned previously. Their owner is a former Tesla engineer, so he's taking all that knowledge and bringing it over. I expect Lucid to start this way, start on the high end, and then eventually trickle down into the low, more affordable end, or at least I really hope they do, because competition will benefit all of us. You also have your range that in the top end models can go to 836 kilometers and in the base model to 653 kilometers, which is still quite impressive. Of course, the top models also come in a all-wheel drive version, while the base models come in just a rear-wheel drive version. Now that we're done with all the specs and numbers, we can talk about the actual exterior of the car. The car looks like it's been smoothed out just purely for aerodynamics sake and obviously for range, but I really do like what they've done with the front end. You can see that it's not a complete light bar, but I do like what they've done with the black at the top and bottom. It kind of does split the color up a bit, and especially in the white that I saw, it was extremely nice to look at. The tires are also quite big. I didn't get a chance to look at the exact size, but it does look like it would be a very comfortable ride. Also sitting in the interior, it seems very comfortable from what I can tell. I also like what they've done with the door handles. It seems like they kind of flap out instead of push out. I don't know if that's going to help with in terms of winter and trying to make sure they don't freeze. Again, I do think this car might be more designed towards the California market, much like Tesla and some of the other ones, but it still looks pretty impressive. Moving on to the rear of the car, they have this kind of one continuous light bar. I know other companies have kind of made it curved, but it still looks really cool. Just the one nice flowing light bar, again with the black that kind of comes up into the color a bit, kind of splits up the color as well. The trunk space is quite big. This car does look a little bit bigger on just looking at it, so I think the trunk space will be more than okay. All right, moving on to the interior. Just off the bat, it was very, very comfortable to sit in. I believe it was real leather on the inside. You also have a D-cut steering wheel with the nice Lucid logo right in the middle. You have a lot of touch screen controls. There's not a lot of physical buttons. I know people don't really enjoy that, but it was nice. It was well thought out. I also noticed a lot of Alcantara, specifically on the dashboard and some of the pillars. And for the price, I would hope that they at least give you some of the nice feeling Alcantara. And you also have behind the steering wheel your center gauge cluster. It is quite big. It's one continuous screen, or though it looks like that. And the quality is quite high. It's very nice to look at, and you have just about every piece of information that you want. You also have a center gauge cluster that's kind of easily accessible to both the driver and the passenger. That's where you can control your automatic front, which is also a plus to have. Your automatic rear, you can open and close both of those things. You can change your drive mode. You have your smooth, your swift, and your sprint mode. And your sprint mode also makes you confirm, and it gives you a little message which you can pause and read, basically saying that it's recommended to be used by skilled drivers. So kind of like Tesla's ludicrous mode, where you have to confirm it and make sure that you're ready for the full power that this vehicle has. You'll also notice that the windshield in this car is super good looking as well. It's got one of those windshields that you would see on the Tesla Model X, the kind of windshield that just starts above your head and kind of goes all the way down. It looks really smooth, and it's a very nice option to have. The rear seats are just as comfortable as the front seats. I have no problem getting in them at 5'11". You also notice on the left side of the door you have this air vent, and it looks like it's for air conditioning for the passenger, which you don't always see on cars, and it's very nice to have. So if you're somebody who doesn't get enough air conditioning when you're in the back seat, well, Lucid has solved that problem for you. You also have no center stack again, like on most of these EVs, so it's very easy to move back and forth, and it gives you a little bit more legroom as well. One last cool thing I noticed in the Lucid dealership or store in the mall, they had this cool VR setup with the actual steering wheel, and like they had a driver's seat and a passenger seat where you could upload your spec of Lucid into this VR setup here, and you can actually take it for a test drive before it's ready. I think that's super cool. Some might think it's pointless, but I think it's nice to be able to feel at least some of what the driving would be like. I do think though that they should open it up maybe sometimes to the public, because it's kind of like a free test drive without actually having to risk a car or somebody pushing the accelerator and going right into a wall. In VR, it doesn't matter. You just reset the track and you're all good. So I really do think that Lucid should open that up and just give the normal folk a try. It would be a really nice touch. But anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. I really did enjoy looking at the Lucid. I hope to get my hands on one and actually drive one on the road. I think they would be absolutely insane. I know they just came out with their Sapphire model, which is quite quick and another neck breaker of a car. So I really hope to be able to drive one in the future. With that being said, if you liked this video, go ahead and give it a like, and also make sure that you're subscribed. You can check me out here on YouTube, Technically Cars, Instagram, TikTok, all that. You can also catch me on PRN Test Drive. I've got 2 videos up with the host over there, Niall, and we will be doing more, so check it out. And with that being said, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.